There are two forces that are driving the spread of woke in our continent. The first one is American soft power. You know, when you watch something like Netflix, watch every TV program on Netflix, and every TV program is the same. The white heterosexual guy is an idiot, right? I mean, he can barely tie his shoelaces. He's so stupid. The homosexual interior decorator knows all about food. You know, he's a real foodie. Tells you how to live a healthy life. He's got an incredibly good body, right? He's emotionally very, very literate. And he's very good at, in a sense, apologizing for the behavior of his heterosexual friend. But this is the program of 15 years ago. The new Netflix program has made a modification. So have any of you watched Sex Education? I think you should, as politicians or would-be politicians, you should watch it. Because sex education is so interesting. In sex education, which is really about promoting transgender ideology, you have a situation where the only sensitive people in the program are trans kids. I mean, the two trans main characters are the only ones. They're the ones that are fighting against what's called heteronormativity. But in these TV programs, everybody other than the trans kids have got a major kind of problem. Now just imagine if you're a 15-year-old kid in Milan or in Paris or Budapest or Warsaw watching Sex Education and all these programs. You will begin to draw the conclusion that what's really, really cool is to basically go out and give yourself a pronoun. That it is really, really cool to be transgender. And when you look at youth culture, the way it's began to kick in, you'll find that, especially in the urban centers, American soft power is a huge enemy that we face because it insidiously sort of manages to manipulate particularly young people. The second major transmitter of wokeness in Europe is the European Union. It's almost as if you can imagine these Eurocrats get up in the morning and they brush their teeth and they basically say, this is going to be an inclusion morning for me. It's going to be an inclusion morning for me because, you know, I believe in diversity. Yeah. When you ask them what they mean by inclusion or diversity, and you should ask them sometimes what they really mean by it, they struggle. You know, they got all these Ehrschatz values, what in Old English we call bullshit values. Is that in 1957, we had this very primitive idea, this very outdated idea that recognized that sex was really, biological sex was really about a man and a woman. And isn't that funny that in 1957 we were so stupid? In 2023, we can leave those old, outdated ideas behind. And not only that, what they're saying is that if you don't recognize this, if you don't recognize the new definition of biological sex, you're going to pay a price, you're going to pay a penalty for this. So this is something that is imposed through the European Union, not just on you, but all European citizens. Now here we come to what I think is the central battlefield in Europe. And the central battlefield is demonstrated by the fact that what they are saying is that anything that was good or seen as being positive in 1957 is by definition bad in 2023. They call it outdated ideas. They basically say that these are outdated ideas and we have to come up with a new language, a totally new language that we take forward in our world. I think that this is a very big problem because what they are really saying is that we need to detach Europe and European cultures from their historical origins. What they are really saying is that the legacy of the past, the cultural legacy of the past, which organically links us to our ancestors, to what has gone on before, needs to be ruptured.